Conjuring, brought to you by Meath County Council and Meath Libraries with me, Billy Bubbles. It's my pleasure to bring you these magic classes in lieu of the performances that I was meant to be doing in the libraries this summer. You are going to learn some amazing magic and have a lot of fun. Let's get on with it. Hi. Want to see a magic trick? This is really cool. This is an optical illusion. You see, you may think you see the napkin being torn in half, but you couldn't possibly. It's an optical illusion. You may think you hear, if you listen closely, the napkin being torn in half, but you couldn't possibly. It's an optical illusion. Now, I know you don't believe me that it's an optical illusion, but I'm going to show you. All this time, you've been thinking, you've been seeing and hearing a napkin being torn in half, but it's impossible. It was all an optical illusion. Hi. Here's how you do the torn and restored napkin trick. For this trick, you actually need two identical napkins. I use these little drinks napkins from IKEA. They're nice and small, particularly for children. You can use larger ones if you like, but I find this size is perfect. We also need some Pritt stick or glue dots, any kind of glue that will glue two napkins together. First thing you're going to do is take your Pritt stick and dab it in and around the center of the top right quarter of the napkin as you look at it, okay? Then you take your second napkin, which I have underneath here, and pop it on top, rub it down, and they will stick to each other. Now what this allows you to do is to fold up the top napkin or roll it up into a little ball, like so, and hide it behind the first napkin. So the idea of the trick is that you tear up the first napkin, turn over the packets and open up the second napkin. Now to make this a little bit easier to follow, I actually have one set up here with contrasting napkins with a red and a white napkin. Obviously, when you're doing this, to make it look like it's a real trick, use the same color napkin. That goes without saying. All right, so you have the napkin in your hand, thumb holes behind here. I use the story of the optical illusion, that you're not really seeing it, you think you're seeing it. It goes behind again, you're keeping the full napkin behind here. All right, and again we tear, and again the left-hand pieces go on front, and it's at this stage that you start to ball up these ones. And as you're doing this, you're just squeezing them together, and really all you do is just turn your hands over like so and squeeze them in, and then take the corner and open it back up again, and you have it restored. It's as easy as that. So would you like some money for nothing? Well, it's pretty easy. All you've got to do is get yourself some wealthy relatives like these two, the king and the queen. Seriously, that's all you need, a king and a queen. Put them together, give a little click of your fingers, and the king and the queen will get you money. Real, live money. So, money for nothing from your friend, the Queen and the King. 2 cards, actually 3 cards, because one of the cards is a double card. You have glued one to the other with a little pocket in it. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how to make one of these from scratch, how I do it. And you can make money appear from it, or parents, if you're watching this, what's a really nice idea is to make little miniature business cards appear from it. So you can have a little intro for your business meetings or handing out your business cards. Quite a quirky way to get remembered. So let's show you how to make one up. You need a couple of materials to make this a little bit easy. You need a pack of playing cards. I use professional playing cards, but cheap playing cards from Tiger or a dollar store. Hardly a dollar store unless you're in America watching this. A pound shop. It's hardly a pound shop, is it? Because they're all gone now. A Euro giant place thing. You know the places I'm talking about. So anyway, You need some playing cards, 3 obviously. I like to use the kings and queens, although it'll work with any card, or the jacks, but particularly the kings and queens because they are royalty and you can tie in that, that story to the trick. And the card that you're going to cut can be any card at all. So in this case, let's use 10 of spades. You estimate where the center of the card is, and children, very carefully with the scissors, you snip or ask a parent to help a little notch or a little cutout in the card. And basically what you're going to do is glue these 2 cards together. The easiest way I found of doing this, you can just use sellotape and tape the outsides, but it's a little bit obvious. Or you can try and use Pritt Stick, but it tends to rub off quite easily. I have a double-sided sticky tape that I got in a local office supply stores called Stick It, and you essentially just roll along the card. So what you're going to do is take the indifferent card and roll along 4 edges of it, or sorry, 3 edges I should say, to make the envelope. And obviously when you're doing this, you can take your time. I find it better to go right to the very edge of the card, because then when you join the 2 cards together, you don't get any kind of gaps in the card, so to speak, around these edges here. So you make your pocket up like so, slip in your money into the little envelope, and you are ready to go. Here's a very simple handling and explanation of how to make the money appear as if by real magic. We shall call, in this case it's the queen, but we'll call it, for ease of explanation, we'll call it the money card, and that's the one that has the money in the little pocket. So the money card stays in my right hand, and the other card goes in front of it. Then what we do is, I'll give you a magician's eye view of this as I would normally see it. The thumb retains contact and keeps contact with the money in the pocket. You take the card, the money card, out to the left, which leaves the actual physical money, the note, behind the other card. The money card then gets replaced back on, which sandwiches, if you think of a cheese sandwich, imagine the money is the cheese in the sandwich. You have it in between, and all you do is spread, and the money appears in the middle. Hey kids, you know the olden days that your parents keep on tooting on about? Well, back in the olden days, there was a very famous magician by the name of Harry Houdini. Harry was also an escapologist, which meant he escaped from things like handcuffs, straitjackets. He was even put in wooden crates, and he could manage to get out of those. I'm going to show you one of his most famous escapes. Kind of. Imagine, if you will, that this square bit of paper is a jail, and that this €2 coin is Harry Houdini. You see, Harry's most famous escape was when he was put inside the jail. Just like so. They closed the doors of his cell. They put the key in the lock and closed them shut. In there, Harry was. But see, Harry wasn't any ordinary magician. I just told you, he was the best escape artist in the world. And Harry could escape from anywhere. Even prison. How'd you like them apples? So let's find out how Harry escapes. All we need for this trick is very simple: a blank piece of paper, square, and a coin. I use a piece of paper that is about 9 centimeters squared, or 3.5 inches, and I use a large, well, a €2 coin. If you're a child and you find it's a bit too big for you, you can cut down the paper a little bit and use maybe a €1 coin. You can play around with it. It does need to be a square bit of paper. That helps with the illusion. Here's how the trick is done. Harry gets placed into jail, and we make a fold from me upwards. Now, I don't bring it right to the very edge. I don't make a perfect half fold. I leave it a little bit, about that much, with the width of your finger, your child, shy. Okay, so there's a little lip here. Okay, then we pick it up, and the left part goes forward, like so, and the right side goes forward, like so. And then, as I'm talking about Harry being put in jail, and they close the doors, they turn the key and lock him in, I fold down this, and he's locked in. He actually isn't locked in at all, because you've actually created a pocket where the coin can slide right out of, okay? But the illusion is that he's totally locked in there. So to make this to make him escape as for the performance of the trick. You just turn it around, rest it into your hand gently and give a little squeeze with your fingers and the coin will fall right into your hand. Okay, and then pick it back up, and I usually say he can even escape from jail, like so. And I throw it up in the air, keep both hands the same, and it looks like he completely disappears. Look into my eyes. Hi, this is Psychic Touch. This is a psychic trick, or a kind of a mind reading trick, and it uses 3 cards. We've got the Jack of Clubs and I've got 2 red 8s. What we're going to do is tear them in half. You can do this individually or together. I tend to do it together just to speed things up a little bit. So we have a load of cards, loads of quarters of cards. We're going to mix these around a little bit. Now, if I had you here with me, I'd turn around and I'd ask you to mix these around as well, so that you know that I couldn't know where the original pieces of the cards are. So the idea of this is for me to try and find the jacks, but not by looking at them, just by find the jacks. That's a bit weird, isn't it? But by using my psychic ability, all right? So I'm going to tune into my psychic ability. I don't think either of those are the jacks. I'll try and channel some more psychic ability. Okay, I'm not sure if the psychic lines were that great tonight, but let's see how I did. Well, lo and behold, I only went and found the jacks. Are you psychic? No, not really. Nobody's psychic. But you can pretend you're psychic with the aid of 3 playing cards and a little pin. So here's how this trick is done. You take the pin and pierce through the queen or the jack or the king, because it is less likely that the pin prick will be noticed than if you did it on a card with loads of white on it. So in the 4 corners, so that when you tear it into quarters, there's going to be a little pin prick, and you will be able to feel that with your fingers. It's very hard to see on a queen, a king or a jack, but you will be able to feel it, particularly on this end, with your fingers very lightly. So the rest is really self-explanatory. You tear up the 4 cards, making sure you tear down the center, or the 3 cards I should say, into 4s, and then spread them out, turn around, get somebody to mix them up, and just by allegedly using your psychic ability, you will be able to feel the ones that have the little bump from the pinprick in them, and very easily, like Braille, you can find the queen. And you've just pretended that you're psychic. Yeah, baby. Not only am I a magician, but I am an incredibly strong magician. I'm actually the strongest magician in the world, and I'll show you how strong I am in just a moment. But first of all, a question. What is the longest word in the English language? I'll tell you. It's smiles. You know why? Because there's a mile in it. That reminds me, what's the smallest town in Ireland? Inch. What's the coldest town in Ireland? Brr. And what's the fastest town in Ireland? Chung! Anyway, back to me being really strong. This is a strength test. I have some smiles here, see? 2, and as you can see, they're the same size. I'm going to give you this one, and I'm going to take this one. In your imagination, with the one that's on the table, I want you to stretch it. Use all your strength of your mind and really stretch it out. I'm going to stretch mine more, so mine will be bigger than yours. Watch. Huh? Hang on, let me swap them round. I'll give you the smaller one and I'll take the longer one. In your imagination, stretch it out. But I know I'm going to win because I'm stronger than you and I have the longer one. Hey, turn that frown upside down. Hi. So this is really fun to do. This is one of these optical illusions, and that's what it is, an optical illusion that you will actually fool yourself with. So you have two pieces of card cut out, or they can be wood or pieces of paper at a push, that are exactly the same size, all right? And when you hold them like this one looks bigger. But if you turn them around and hold them like this one looks bigger. Even on the table from the above camera. So if I have them out like this one looks bigger, yeah? But look, all I do is I move this one, and now this one looks bigger. Like, it's one of those things you literally will just fool yourself. All right? It's called the boomerang illusion or the Jastro illusion, and it really is just an optical illusion. So the idea of the strength test and all that kind of stuff, obviously you can't physically help me through the screen. So I'm saying in your imagination, make it, get all your mind strength together to make it longer. Usually you would hand this to someone and ask them to kind of stretch it out and then come back and do your stuff like this. Now, if you hold it like this, they look more or less the same size. So the idea when you're doing it this way is to imagine a straight line going here and here. And then this one looks huge, all right? And then when you turn them around or swap them over, you just line up that straight line again, and that one looks huge. This is so much fun. You can get these in little plates for serving peanuts and stuff in as well. I've seen them around. So you can actually have some on your sideboard at home or in the kitchen at home for any parents watching, and you can do it like when you're having a dinner party. It's really good fun. I encourage you to look it up. It's basically just, actually, let me show you how to make one. So here's how you make one of these boomerang illusions, smile illusions up. You have a piece of card, it works better with card because it lasts longer, and I folded it in half, all right, and you get a dinner plate. If you have a full-size dinner plate, you can make one the size that I had. This is a side plate, all right, and move it down and make two lines in it like so, all right. Once you've got that done, you cut this out. Don't worry about the sides for the moment. So you're gonna cut around, and obviously when you're doing this, you can take a lot more time and be a lot neater. So that one and that one. And the reason you've folded a piece of paper in half is it means you're getting two cuts that are exactly the same on these. All right, like so. Just get rid of the trash. All right, so you have two the same, and then just at a bit of an angle, if you imagine, I'll tell you why I'm saying this in a second, if you imagine kids' train tracks, wooden train tracks, all right? So you have made, albeit very roughly and very quickly, you've made your illusion where this one is bigger, and then when you move this one back here, the front one is bigger. The reason I mentioned train tracks is when I was practicing this earlier on and getting the cameras and all set up, I realized that our 2-year-old boy has a set of train tracks. And lo and behold, the set of train tracks is this illusion. And what I thought would be a really fun idea for the children watching is that if you have, just make sure they're the same orientation, and you can see it works, all right? So if you have a younger brother and sister, and I know from making these up with my 2 kids over the years, that you need a little bit of an extra bit of track or whatever, but you don't really. You can kind of squeeze the track together when you're making it, a large train track. So what's really fun to do, I was thinking, would be to say, if you were that much short, oh, hang on, let me just lengthen that one out a little bit. And you go, oh yeah, that's better, that'll fit. And then just kind of push it over and bang it in and stuff and kind of mess with the kid's head. So have loads of fun and enjoy, and see you soon. Hey, thanks for watching COVID Conjuring with me, Billy Bubbles. If you enjoyed my style, my own website is kidsparty.ie, and if I've instilled a little love of magic in you and you want to learn some more, I'd recommend popping along to the local library and skipping over to section 793.8. That's where all the magic books are. Hey, some might even teach you how to do this little thing. Maybe.